Good morning, happy Sabbath. Today we're going to have another installation of our, guess what, healthy food I have in my hand. So today we're going to be talking about a plant that originally grew wild in India but was cultivated in China, is now a very popular dish in Mediterranean cultures. It comes in all different sizes and shapes and all different colors, from purple and lavender to jade green, orange and yellow and white, as well as, whether it's long or fat and short, or if it's, thin. It comes in all different shapes and sizes. It belongs to a nightshade family of vegetables, which also includes potatoes, tomatoes, peppers, even the peppers that we make Tabasco sauce from, and paprika. But this family also includes nicotine and belladonna. Because it is part of the nightshade family, it can be an issue with those who have problems with nerve disorders or inflammatory disorders, because it can actually cause problems with acetylcholinesterase. But the small amounts of alkaloids that are found in this plant actually don't have so much of the properties, and also if you cook it, it will actually reduce these properties even more. So don't be afraid of eating this. But remember, if you do have nerve disorders or anti-inflammatory disorders, you may want to be very careful. Don't eat too much of this. This plant is very good in dietary fiber, potassium, magnesium, copper, and thiamine or B1 vitamins. It's good in vitamin B6, folate, magnesium, tryptophan, niacin, and beta-carotene. And what's so interesting about this plant? Well, let me ask you, does anybody know what plant I'm talking about? It is the eggplant. And so we have, this is probably the most common variety that we have here in the States. As you can see, it is a nice purple. It's got a nice smooth skin. And within the skin is actually something called nasunin. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but this is an antioxidant that is found in the eggplant skin, and it's very, very good for our heart. It significantly lowers our cholesterol plaques and relaxes the blood vessels and helps improve circulation. It also protects our brain, and so it protects the cell membranes of our brain cells, and so that it doesn't occur so much oxidative stress, and it helps preserve the function of the cell membrane. Also, its high thiamine content produces acetylcholine, which is a neurotransmitter that then helps send messages from our brain cells to their end organs. It also binds excess iron, and iron is actually something that if we have too much of it, so iron is a good thing, but if we have too much of it, it can actually cause oxidation. The oxidation and oxidative stress then causes extra stuff like aging, cell death, all those things. So by binding the extra iron, it actually helps to increase our antioxidant properties of the eggplant. It also contains the magnesium and the copper. Remember, I told you that it was very good in those minerals, which the minerals are necessary for then helping the other antioxidants to function properly. So how do we store it? So if we don't store it properly, it can lose its nutrients and become bitter. So we want to refrigerate it with as little air exposure as possible. So it came in this little paper right here. You want to try to wrap it up, or if you have a plastic, Ziploc bag or something, try to get as much air out from it as you can, or just eat it as fresh as possible, either from your garden or right when you get it from the store. Just try to eat it right away, and you won't see that. So usually how you prepare it is you cut it into strips, and then you can saute it. The best healthful way of eating is actually sauteing it in just a little bit of flavored water. Don't use too much oil, but you want to saute it first by steaming it for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then letting it just kind of cook for the rest of the 7 minutes. 7 minutes total is probably the best time to soften the eggplant so that it becomes very sweet, and also it helps it to be easier to digest. and also so it doesn't lose too much of its nutrients. If you are into eating raw vegetables, which is actually very good, then you can also eat that too. It's not something that has to be cooked. You can reduce the bitterness by, if you slice them, then you want to expose the slices to coarse salt. Don't do fine salt, because if you do fine salt, it'll actually make your eggplant very salty. But if you do coarse salt, the salt will actually draw up the extra moisture out from the eggplant and decrease its bitterness. If you are very sensitive to salt, you know, if you have a condition, pre-existing condition that makes you very sensitive to salt, you can also soak this in some cool water for about 15 minutes, and that will also decrease the bitterness too. So I hope that you will try the eggplant if you haven't tried it before. How our family likes to do it is that we will cut it up into strips, and then we'll kind of bread it with some breading mix, and then we'll kind of pop it into the oven for a little bit and kind of have like a, you know, and then top it with some tomato sauce. It's kind of like an eggplant parmesan. Some people will actually stir fry this with other, you know, vegetables, or other, if you eat meat or a meat substitute, you can put that in there as well. Put some soy sauce in there. Other people will actually use this and put some olive oil and basil and make it more into a Mediterranean type dish. However you like to eat it, this is very healthy for you. So I hope that you will try this sometime and tell me how you like it. Happy Sabbath.